My friends, I need you to stop what you're doing right now and listen to me very carefully, because what I'm about to share with you could mean the difference between keeping your full Social Security check or losing hundreds of dollars every single month starting in January. I know that might sound dramatic, but I'm sitting here today because I care about you. And I've seen too many seniors lose money simply because nobody told them about these deadlines. You've worked your entire life for these benefits. You've paid into the system for 30, 40, maybe even 50 years, and you deserve every single penny that's coming to you. But here's the hard truth that nobody wants to talk about. The Social Security Administration has certain requirements and deadlines that if you miss them, even by just one day, you could see your payments reduced, delayed, or even temporarily stopped. And with January 1st right around the corner, there are specific actions you need to take right now to protect your monthly income. I'm talking about real money here, folks. For many of you receiving around $2,000 a month, we're talking about potentially losing $200, $300, or even more from your check. That's grocery money. That's prescription money. That's the difference between paying your heating bill this winter or struggling to make ends meet. So please, grab a cup of coffee, sit down with me for the next few minutes, and let me walk you through exactly what you need to do before that January 1st deadline hits. I promise you, by the end of this conversation, you'll know exactly what steps to take to keep every dollar you're entitled to. Now, let me start by explaining why January 1st is such a critical date when it comes to your Social Security benefits. You see, the Social Security Administration operates on a calendar year system for many of its reporting requirements and program rules. What this means is that certain changes, updates, and requirements reset or take effect on January 1st of each new year. And if you haven't taken care of specific obligations or reported certain changes before that date arrives, you could find yourself in a situation where your benefits are affected. Let me give you some real examples of what I'm talking about here because I want you to understand exactly how this impacts your monthly check. First and most important, we need to talk about the earnings test if you're still working while collecting Social Security retirement benefits. Now, I know many of you have taken Social Security before reaching your full retirement age, and some of you have continued working part-time jobs or doing consulting work to supplement your income. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, and Social Security allows it. But here's the catch that trips up thousands of seniors every single year. If you're under your full retirement age for the entire year of 2025, Social Security will deduct $1 from your benefits for every $2 you earn above $23,400. That's the limit for 2025, and it's going up slightly from last year. But here's where people get into trouble. If you earned more than that amount in 2024 and you didn't report it properly to Social Security, or if you're going to earn more than that in 2025 and you don't notify them before January 1st, they're going to do what's called a benefit adjustment. And let me tell you, when Social Security discovers you've earned too much, they don't send you a polite letter asking for the money back gradually. They can withhold your entire monthly check, sometimes for several months, until they've recovered what they believe you owe them. I've seen people who normally get $2,000 a month suddenly get $0 for 3 or 4 months straight because of this issue. So what do you need to do right now? If you worked at all in 2024 and you're under your full retirement age, you need to call Social Security or go online to your My Social Security account and report your estimated earnings for the year. You can also report your estimated earnings for 2025 while you're at it. Don't wait for them to find out on their own when they match your records with the IRS, because by then it's too late and they'll just start withholding. The phone number to call is 1-800-772-1213. And yes, you might be on hold for a while, but trust me, it's worth the wait to protect your monthly income. If you're comfortable using a computer, logging into your My Social Security account online is actually faster, and you can report your earnings right there in just a few minutes. Now, the second critical issue we need to discuss is what happens if you're receiving SSI, which is Supplemental Security Income. SSI is different from regular Social Security retirement or disability benefits because it's a need-based program, which means Social Security looks at your income and your resources every single year to make sure you still qualify. And here's what many SSI recipients don't realize. If your resources, which means your bank accounts, savings, investments, or property you own, go over the limit even for just 1 month, you could lose your entire SSI payment. For an individual, that resource limit is $2,000, and for a married couple, it's $3,000. Now, I want you to think about this for a moment. If you received any extra money in December, maybe a holiday gift from your children, maybe you sold something, maybe you got a small bonus from a part-time job, and that money pushed your bank account over $2,000 even for a few days, that could disqualify you from your January SSI payment. So before January 1st gets here, you need to look at your bank account balance and make sure you're under that limit. If you're close to the limit or over it, you have some options. You can spend down on things you need, like paying bills ahead, buying food, getting necessary medical items, or purchasing things for your household. What you cannot do is just give the money away to family members or hide it, because Social Security will find out, and that's considered fraud. You can also put money towards certain exempt resources like a car you use for transportation or your primary home. But whatever you do, don't just ignore this and hope it goes away, because Social Security checks these resources, and if they find you were over the limit, they'll stop your payments and you'll have to go through a whole appeals process to get them started again. The third thing we need to talk about, and this is really important for anyone receiving Social Security disability benefits or SSDI, is the work activity reporting requirement. If you're on disability and you've been doing any kind of work, even volunteer work that comes with a stipend, even selling things online, even doing odd jobs for neighbors, you are required to report this to Social Security. And I mean required, folks. This isn't optional. Social Security considers any work activity when you're on disability benefits as something they need to know about because they need to determine if you're still disabled according to their rules. Now, there's something called Substantial Gainful Activity, or SGA, and for 2025, that amount is $1,620 a month. If you earn more than that, Social Security is going to review your case and potentially decide you're no longer disabled, which means your benefits could stop. But even if you're earning under that amount, you still need to report it. And if you did any work in 2024 that you haven't reported yet, you need to report it before January 1st. Why? Because once the new year starts and Social Security does their annual reviews, if they discover unreported work activity, they're going to assume you've been working above the SGA level, and they're going to stop your benefits immediately and start an overpayment claim against you. I've seen people end up owing Social Security $20,000, $30,000, even $50,000. Because they didn't report work activity, and Social Security decided they shouldn't have been receiving benefits for months or even years. This is serious business, my friends. Now, let's talk about something that affects everyone receiving Social Security, and that's making sure your direct deposit information is current and correct. Every January, there are thousands of people who don't receive their Social Security payment on time because their bank account information has changed and they forgot to update it with Social Security. Maybe you switched banks to get a better interest rate. Maybe you closed an old account and opened a new one. Maybe your bank merged with another bank and your account number changed. Whatever the reason, if Social Security tries to deposit your money into an account that doesn't exist anymore or has the wrong number, that payment is going to bounce back, and it could take weeks to straighten out. You won't get a check in the mail automatically. You'll have to contact Social Security, verify your identity, provide new banking information, and wait for them to reissue the payment. Meanwhile, you've got bills to pay and no money coming in. So right now, today, before January 1st, I want you to check your direct deposit information. Log into your My Social Security account online or call that number I gave you earlier and verify that the bank account information they have on file is correct. Make sure the routing number and account number match exactly what's on your checks or your bank statement. This is such a simple thing to do, but it can save you so much headache and stress next month. Another critical issue for those of you who are married or divorced is making sure Social Security has the correct information about your marital status. This matters because your marital status can affect how much you receive, especially if you're collecting spousal benefits or survivor benefits. If you got married in 2024 and you didn't tell Social Security, you might be missing out on a higher benefit amount. If you got divorced and you didn't tell them, you might be receiving the wrong amount and could end up with an overpayment. And if your spouse passed away and you're entitled to survivor benefits, but you haven't applied or updated your information, you could be leaving thousands of dollars on the table. Social Security doesn't automatically know about these life changes unless you tell them. They don't have a magical system that connects to marriage licenses and death certificates in real time. You have to report these changes, and you need to do it before the new year starts, so your January payment reflects the correct amount. Let me also talk to those of you who moved or changed your address in 2024. Social Security needs your current mailing address on file for several reasons. They send important notices about your benefits, they send tax forms you'll need for filing your taxes, and if for some reason your direct deposit fails, they need to know where to mail a paper check. If you moved and didn't update your address, you might not be getting important correspondence from Social Security, and you could miss deadlines for responding to requests for information. If Social Security sends you a letter asking you to verify something or provide documentation, and you don't respond because you never got the letter, they can suspend your benefits. So please, if you've moved at any time in the last year, update your address with Social Security right away. Now, I want to spend a moment talking about Medicare premiums, because this affects your Social Security payment amount directly. Most of you who are on Medicare have your Part B premium deducted automatically from your Social Security check each month. For 2025, the standard Part B premium is going to be $185 a month, which is up from $174.70 in 2024. That means your Social Security check is going to be about $10 less per month just from that premium increase alone. But here's what some people don't realize. If you have a Medicare Advantage plan or a Part D prescription drug plan, those premiums might also come out of your Social Security check. And if you switched plans during the open enrollment period that just ended, your premium amount might have changed. You need to know what your new premium is going to be so you can budget accordingly and know what to expect in your January payment. For those of you receiving around $2,000 a month from Social Security, after Medicare premiums and any other deductions, you might be taking home around $1,800 or so. Understanding exactly what's coming out of your check helps you plan your monthly budget and avoid surprises. And if you think the premium being deducted is wrong, you need to contact Social Security before January 1st to get it corrected. My friends, I also want to remind you about the importance of reporting any other benefits you're receiving. If you get both Social Security and a pension from work where you didn't pay Social Security taxes, something called the windfall elimination provision might affect your benefit amount. If you're receiving workers' compensation or certain disability benefits from a state or local government, that could reduce your Social Security disability payment. These offsets and reductions are complicated, but Social Security needs to know about all your income sources to calculate your correct benefit amount. If they find out later that you didn't report something, you guessed it, overpayment. Let me give you one more really important action item before we wrap up. If you're planning to travel outside the United States for an extended period in 2025, you need to understand how that affects your benefits. For most Social Security retirement and disability benefits, you can still receive payments while you're outside the country. But for SSI, the rules are different. If you're outside the United States for a full calendar month, your SSI payments stop. And when I say a full calendar month, I mean if you leave on January 15th and come back February 14th, February is a full calendar month that you're gone and you won't get your SSI payment for March. You need to report foreign travel to Social Security before you leave, not after you get back. So let me summarize what you need to do right now, before January 1st arrives. Number one, if you worked at all this year and you're under full retirement age, report your earnings to Social Security. Number two, if you're on SSI, check your bank account and make sure your resources are under the limit. Number three, if you're on disability and you've done any work, report it immediately. Number four, verify your direct deposit information is correct. Number five, make sure Social Security has your current address and correct marital status. Number six, understand what's being deducted from your check for Medicare and other items. And number seven, report any upcoming travel plans if you're on SSI. I know this seems like a lot, but protecting your $2,000 monthly Social Security payment is worth taking an hour or two to make these calls and double-check your information. You've earned these benefits through decades of hard work, and I don't want to see you lose a single penny because of a missed deadline or an unreported change. So please, take action today. Don't put this off until next week or assume everything is fine. January 1st is coming fast, and once that date passes, it's too late to avoid problems for the new year. Take care of yourselves, protect your benefits, and I'll see you in the next update where we'll talk more about how to maximize your Social Security income in 2025.